Let me ask you a question. You mentioned the Institute of Noetic Sciences to me before, right? Can you tell everybody in this room what that is?
That was co-founded by Dr. Edgar Mitchell after his noetic experience that he had while he had that sense of the awe and everything connected as he, was the first man to actually look back and see Earth the way it was. And it's been now the chief scientific investigator is Dean Radin, who's phenomenal. And they came out during Dr. Edgar Mitchell's Zoom birthday party. It was right. It was the same week as the NASA and the Mexico mummy fiasco, and not too many people caught it. But Dr. Sean Esteban was there, and quite a few other people, and they are officially, openly, publicly in the disclosure discovery arena now.
B, you or Holly also need to explain that. Who is Dr. Ed? I mean, how is he important? Why is he? You know what I'm saying? Because again, not all of us are on board.
Edgar Mitchell.
Uh,
Yeah, Edgar may not everybody that is listening, because I don't think I told this room. Sometimes I may have one viewer, and that viewer may not know who he is and how he plays in. So I want to start. We need to bring people on. We need to give them details, because the details is how we walk him here, right? That's all I'm asking. Tell people who he is, who he was, why he's important.
You know what really gets me about like Edgar Mitchell and that crowd? They will bang into the occult as well. And that's when that starts weaving into the phenomena. Oh God, I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole.
Well,
I
Edgar
read.
Mitchell, I just posted to the top. I forgot when this paper was written. Edgar Mitchell was a astronaut that was doing like telepathic studies on one of the moon missions. He was using Zener cards to determine telepathy from a distance, like with someone on Earth, and then he got hooked up with Piharich. There's a paper that I posted that was co-written by Edgar Mitchell, Piharich, and it's like the history of some of the what do you call it? A psychokinesis, psychoenergetic studies or telepathy, and he's one of the people that hooked up Stephen Greer with Thomas Wilson, and Edgar Mitchell was also he was a big proponent for the study of psychoenergetics, and yeah, he started ions, but he was one of the people that stepped on the moon.
That's what I was waiting for. Before you go on, B, let me say this. One thing I do remember about him, and I'm gonna jump around here. When he was coming back from the moon, he had a moment of an epiphany. He was staring out the window. He kind of talks about it, right? I actually now know what I know. I wonder if somehow his brain popped and the Institute of Noetic Sciences, right? All of a sudden he realized consciousness right there, coming back from the moon. He talks about that. I know I've seen a video and all of he put into this. Why? He didn't see an entity, a craft, anything like that. He just had a moment that he specifically remembers and talks about, that he just knew what was what, right? As far as that. Anybody else remember that? And also up in the nest, I
I thought he
posted.
saw lights or something.
I, I don't know if I know on the way back from the moon he may have, but the point, I know he told the story at that moment. That's when it kind of changed him. Like that's when the Institute of Noetic Sciences, things like that. And I put up in the nest too. Thanks, Red Pen and Koala. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel, Twitter, all that, all the hosts and co-hosts. So I wonder too, man. It'd be funny if it's some kind of war, humans activating humans, and then NHI activating. Who's dragging us to disclosure? I joke about that. Like, who kind of puts clues in front of me? It sounds funny, but I think that sometimes I'm like, wait, what's going on here today? I'm not gonna say too much about this. No matter what, at this point today, I had something happen that I can't understand. That's exactly what we're talking about in these rooms. That I have no doubt in my mind at this point. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is, man. All I know is I saw something, and I can promise you, no matter what I've said in the past, today made no fucking sense. And then the way it's God, dude, I just don't understand it, man. And it's crazy for me to talk about it because I'm trying to skirt around sound like a nut job, right? But we're talking about Institute of Noetic Sciences, right? I'm trying to skirt around it. There's no way to skirt around it. Sometimes my brain feels like it's on fire. And today, I was doing my normal thing, which is research, and that way our research is different. I take in as much information as I can, and things kind of fall in place. But today, something happened I can't explain, and yeah, dude, I don't know, man. Makes
You
someday I
should
hope I
you
can
should
talk
try
about
to
it.
explain it.
No, I can't, dude. I look, I can put it to you this way. Hopefully someday I can talk about this stuff, but right now, because of what I'm doing, and like I said, I have sources and things like that. And again, let me bring this to you. I'm not going to say a whole lot, but if I have sources and I'm talking about the things that I believe are real, because again, hunch, whatever you want to call it, day was different, and it actually, dude, you get validation like when David kind of came out. I mean, I've seen UFOs so much, and the way they interact in my life is different. So you spend all this time like, wait, I'm kind of fucked up. What's going on here? I think this is crazy, but today was different. Is what I'm saying. I hope I can tell you guys someday, but I'm telling you this. There's no doubt in my mind. I don't give a fuck what people say about me. I'm not going to stop talking about some of this stuff because I still can't explain how I got to where I'm at through a series of events, which are almost like 80% synchronicities that you have to have in place to get to a specific. But again, it feels like a control system, like something's put there, so I step left, but I don't know who's doing it. And you know how wild that sounds, but that's literally my life to run across shit, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's it, and wonder, all right, dude, now I got to wonder if humans are using the tech in front of me to put shit in my head, or if NHI are trying to drag and bring the disclosure. And Voodoo mentioned earlier, you know, something about who's doing disclosure. Well, maybe it's not even human. Maybe it's fucking not. Because I think there's been continuous restarts of this shit for a reason. But greed, keeping it secret so you can keep pocketing that shit, is the reason it's being done.